Look what I got for you. Only 3 weeks late. Oh my god, it's finally happening! Hey guys! Okay, finally I have the Sketchbook Slam Challenge sketchbook video for you. I know this took me ages, but as I mentioned before, I got ill the last few weeks of the challenge and I couldn't do anything. But it's here now, it's here, and I think you can kinda tell how I felt by the end when I was doing this. I'm gonna talk about this later. For all of those guys who are new here, hi! I'm Mary, and the Sketchbook Slam Challenge is a challenge that was created by Holly Brown. I'll link her there and there. Basically, her idea was to make a challenge in which you had to complete a 600-page sketchbook in 1 month. Alright, I'm sure all of you can read, and the title of this page says 300 pages instead of 600. That is because I started out doing 600, or I planned to do 600 pages in a month, which would have been around 20 pages a day, and I very quickly noticed that I'm not gonna make it, so I switched my challenge to 300, and that was something that Holly said was totally okay to do. I mean, what am I even talking about? I failed this challenge, so why am I even... Anyways, let's just start this thing. I started this and I thought to myself, you know, I could practice drawing clothes some more, so I started out doing my own characters and then just looking up clothes on the internet and drawing my characters wearing those clothes. And for some reason along the sketchbook I totally forgot that I wanted to practice clothing and kinda didn't do that anymore later on. By now, these are the first few pages, and by now I had already noticed that this is taking me way longer than I thought. And I was stressing out so much. That's my character Eowyn. The last speed paint I uploaded was her. Maybe you've seen it. If not, look at the cards. This is Logan from Dragon Age, a really bad looking version of him. I'm a big Dragon Age fan, though I kinda can't say that because I have only played the first one, but I like Logan. A lot of these drawings are referenced by pictures that I found on the internet. Whenever I reference an artist, I put the name of the artist next to it, so this says... what does it say? I don't even know what this says because I can't read my own handwriting. This is embarrassing. Okay, usually if I copy a pose or a drawing from an artist, I put the name next to it so I know exactly that I copied it and I'm not stealing anything. And then other things like this are just from photographs where I don't necessarily know who took the photograph, you know. That's my character assist. And here I started figure drawing. I really like drawing gestures and quick gestures like these, and I really love filling the whole page with them, but I very quickly noticed that I'm not gonna be able to do this the whole time because these are like 10 drawings per page, and if you have to do 10 to 15 pages a day, you're not gonna make it. So you have to compromise and just do less. So later in the sketchbook I did less, which I didn't like so much. My characters from my fantasy story, these sketches are horrible. I'm sorry for shitting on my own art, but I just don't like them. I like these sketches though. These are also my characters Sam, Spencer and Ashley, and this is definitely referenced from a picture, I think a photo or something I found. Yeah. Eowyn again, kind of trying to figure out her armor. Really random. Other drawings, feet. I started out doing feet every time I would warm up, every new day, because I'm really bad at drawing feet, as you can probably tell, and for some reason warming myself up with the wrong feet was nice because they are not easy for me to draw, but after I've drawn a bunch of feet I was warmed up pretty well after that. And as you can see, I kind of found a hack where I just, if there were any blank spaces that made me really nervous. Honestly, I got really anxious about those white spots. I think I've mentioned it in one of my sketchbook vlogs. Oh my god, it made me so nervous leaving those white spots. So my workaround for that in the beginning was putting lyrics of songs I was listening to at that time. And that really helped making it feel like it's filled but not filling it. So I was stressing out a little less. I later on in the sketchbook learned how to let it go a little bit more and not stress out so much. That's why I'm actually really happy that I did this challenge. Because I did fail it. Because I got sick in the last 2 weeks, I think, of doing this challenge, I couldn't finish it in time. I was, I think, 40 pages before finishing it, so if I hadn't been sick, I think I would have been able to manage. I like this sketch a lot. And that's Breath of the Wild fan art. And my character, Spencer. So yeah, I think I could have finished it. I didn't. That's just life, but I'm still happy. Although I technically failed it, I think I've learned a lot doing this. That's a character design I did basing off the Elder Scrolls, which is something that I do a lot. I do a lot of character designs and base it off like existing things, like the Elder Scrolls universe is one of those things that I like to reference a lot and do my own little designs for that. That's when I was planning my Contrapposto video, also in the cards. How I'm not going too fast for you, but you can always pause or just, if you don't like me talking, mute this and speed it up. These pages are so not... You can tell that I didn't want to do anything at those days. I wasn't feeling like drawing and nothing was working. Yeah, oh my god. I was just googling some forensic scientist-y stuff because I have this character Ashley and actually another one called Flint who are forensic scientists. And that's also my character Adrian. Oh, and I smeared paprika chip dust all over this page, which you can't really see that much on the video. Huh. More character design. I'm gonna move this real quick because I'm scratching the lamp. No. Wanted to draw my D&D character, but no. Feet. And yeah, wanted to draw Hellboy because I really like the inking in Hellboy. It didn't turn out. Switch to ballpoint pen for a bit. This is a character of mine as well. He's an Argonian, also from the Elder Scrolls universe, and this arm is impossible, but I still kind of like it. I mean, he looks nothing like he's supposed to look like, but I tried. Okay, these pages barely count, to be honest. Some more gestures with ballpoint pen. Okay, my camera just shut down for a second. What I was saying is that I think if you look at my later figure drawings later on, you will see that I loosened up a lot, especially using ballpoint pen, and later on I actually only used what is it called? Fine liner? Yeah, that really helped me just focusing on shapes rather than line. Yeah, that's Janeway. She's my favorite character, and this is probably one of the worst drawings I ever did. I keep trashing my own drawings here, but sometimes I'm not happy. I'm a digital artist, guys. I love the digital stuff, and I don't know. Traditional seems so much harder to me, I don't know why. Arcanine? I don't know how to pronounce. It's my favorite Pokemon. And I totally copied these from the internet, so this is not my original post, just saying it. Copied. Some more figures. I started outlining these figures and I didn't realize that when I will be filming this, the yellow might show up a little bit weird, but Then I took just regular colored pencil and just drew a few heads. I in general really like drawing heads when I do it digitally, but traditionally they always turn out so weird. I don't know why, but my style completely changes when I do traditional instead of digital. I don't know why that is. Maybe because I have less control. I'm not sure. My Ashley. Just a random person. More random persons. More random persons. Here you can see that I let go of my anxiety with filling the whole page here and did very few drawings. But again, kind of a workaround with doing these boxes. It just feels a bit nicer and put together that way. Here I started drawing Pokemon because, I don't know, I'm playing Moon right now. I mean, I finished it, but I'm trying to get the whole decks. So I guess I was in the mood. I'm really not a creature drawer. Look at this. But I had fun, I have to admit. I mean, they kind of look creepy when I draw them. That's just my style, I guess. I'm not so much the cutesy artist. It was definitely fun because it was a change from drawing so many people and poses. That's the Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars, looking very friendly. Friendly. Toucanon, best name ever. Here I had a prompt that I generated. It was schoolgirl, diseased, and floppy arms, so I did a zombie schoolgirl. Just from one of those random prompt generator sites. Oh god. Yeah, it looks so happy. One of my favorite Pokemon, like, honestly. Look at that tongue. And this was just for fun. Oh god. An archer. Positivity. Positivity. Oh god, so much glare. I hope you can see this. I think you can tell that my figures got a lot of better. Wow. But my English is deteriorating. Wow. Nice. This is such a random video. I'm so sorry. Well, there's just a lot of gestures in here, so I really love those kind of women laying and like propping up one arm. Those kind of, in general, people lying down. For some reason I really like drawing those figures when the body, I don't know, when they have still curves but they're elongated, and I don't know, for some reason I really like drawing those figures. Which is weird because, I mean, that's not the typical pose that I would draw my characters in. But for figures I like it. A lot of figures. Oh my god. Okay, one thing though. If my brother is watching this, and I seriously hope he's not because I hate when family watch this stuff, you better stop watching right now or you will be spoiled for your Christmas present. And I really don't want you to be spoiled for your Christmas present, and you don't really want to be spoiled for your Christmas present, so don't watch on. I'm gonna rip your head off, I swear. Okay. I'm gonna turn the page, don't watch on. Okay. Okay, you can't really tell anything from this, but basically I'm gifting him a shirt I made for him from with a logo that I made for our Dungeons and Dragons group. I'm not gonna show more of this here, but I think, yeah, here's the final sketch for the design. So yeah, it would be really bad if he sees that. I mean, it's still not the finished product, but I want him to be surprised. I want to see his surprised face. speaking of, that is one of my D&D characters, Linya. She got some scars recently. More figures. What I was saying before that whole brother episode. The days where I did a lot of figure drawings were my most productive days because they're just so much quicker to do. And I personally don't think that's cheating because I am actually studying, and think I definitely improved most by doing these figures instead of doing, you know, all the other drawings, which were fun to do as well, but I didn't really learn from them that much as I did from learning figures. So I don't think it's cheating. Of course, it's faster to do figures than do a nice drawing of a character, but personally, I draw characters a lot. You know, that's my thing. So in this sketchbook, I really try to practice things that I don't draw that much, and for me, that was definitely anatomy. And I couldn't do like really elaborate anatomy studies because I didn't have the time, but doing these gestures was a good compromise for me. There's Linya again. She looks different every time I draw her. Yeah. Those were rough days. I really like this sketch. I mean, it's not the prettiest thing I've ever drawn, but I like it. It's my Eowyn character. Still trying to figure out outfits for her. I love her so much. That's something I drew for someone at Artemino. Catanium is their username, and that's their character. I just randomly drew it for them. I was trying out the app and liked the community, and I drew some sneaks and some more sneaks. Here I kinda discovered that I could use Pinterest some more. I mean, I already had used Pinterest a lot to that point, especially for, you know, finding inspiration for my outfit designs and characters, but I realized that there's so much nature stuff on Pinterest and I never really draw naturey stuff, and I figured, you know what, why not? And it was good to do it was good to do something different for a change. I really honestly never draw animals. Honestly, I think the times where I drew animals you could count on one hand, so this was new for me. Okay, so this was almost entirely copied by Veriago on tumblr.com. Check them out. The shading is mine, which you can tell because it's bad, and then the face I think I changed, but the whole pose and thing, it's totally stolen. This is seriousdraws.tumblr.com. I copied the pose. The character again is mine, Eowyn, but the pose is from Serious Draws, and I honestly, they are amazing. I love them so much. They are goals, like their style is gold, so I really like this one too. Sketched an Argonian, and you know, I told you I'm not a creature artist. I don't do animals a lot, I don't draw anthro characters a lot, but I really like how this turned out because I like Argonians and I from time to time try to draw them, but they don't really turn out. But this one I really like. And here I switched to, what are they called? Multiliners. Yes. So yeah, I switched to multiliners, and they are more hardcore than ballpoint pen in my opinion, because with ballpoint pen you kind of can change the pressure of how much you press down the tip and kind of sketch lightly, but with multiliners, whatever you put on the page is on the page. So this actually really helped me a lot to focus on form much more than line and sketching, you know. So I try to do as few lines as possible but still get the forms right, and I think that really helped me. Here's my Eowyn again, kinda still copying the same pose but changing it up a little bit. I decided that I wanted to show her back a little bit more with her scars. I talked about that in the speed paint video I uploaded last week. Yay, some hands. I actually like these. They turn out well. With these, everything that is yellow on these following pages are the ones that I really like how they turned out. This one, again, those kind of propped up, almost lying down poses. This one as well, really like that. And doing those figures, I started to understand how to properly connect the head to the torso, because I struggle with that a lot, especially when they are like looking up, looking down, and kind of seeing those kind of triangles here really helped me a lot. We're getting near the end, I think. Here's the sketch I did for the speed paint of Earwin I did. I had a reference picture of myself that I show in the video in the speed paint. It's hilarious. And I drew it a couple of times in here just to get, like, these are really bad, but just to get kind of like a muscle memory of how things are proportioned, and then I drew it digitally. Had a pretty bad day here. Drew some hands. They look awful. I was referencing my own hands, and I never do that because my hands are quite weird. I have a very small pinky finger. I don't know if you can see that, but usually pinky fingers kind of go to here. Mine only goes to here, and then everything, I don't know, my hands are kind of wonky, so I don't necessarily reference them a lot because they just look weird, so I don't know. Yeah, some mock-ups. This is what do you call it, bracer design for like a fantasy armor. You can't really tell what it is. Some mock-ups. I like drawing birds for some reason. I found that it's relaxing. I wish I could do more color in here because this is just regular printer paper, it's not a sketchbook. So yeah, I couldn't really do much coloring in here, and again, I didn't really have time to do that. I draw kudos, which I think are terrifying. I like this drawing and this very serious looking kudu. My aunt and uncle were one day almost killed by a kudu. They were driving around in Africa and got hit by a kudu, like the car got hit, and yeah, it was scary, I think. I mean, I wasn't there, but it sounded scary. Because you gotta Google them because those things are huge. They are huge. Okay, some weapons. I used to draw weapons a lot, like a few years back, and then kind of stopped for some reason, I don't know, though I really enjoy drawing weapons, so I try to get back in it, just drawing designs that I had already done for my fantasy story. They pull their weapons out of parts of their body. That sounds really weird, but like Sist, one of the characters, draws her sword out of her hand. Frederick draws his sword out of between his shoulder blades and on his back. Stuff like that. It's like a magical type of sword thing. That's Sist. Some more characters from another story: Adrian, Kor, Don, and Odin. I like how these turned out. They look like they're supposed to look, especially Odin. Ashley. More figures. Didn't even bother outlining them with a marker anymore. And that's the last page! Yay! This is probably one of the worst pages I did. Stop shitting on yourself. Stop shitting on yourself. Okay, yeah, I wanted to do a little bit more on the last page because, you know, I had failed the challenge by then and I had time to do a elaborate page, which isn't that elaborate, and I honestly don't like it. The idea behind this is, that's me, hi, and these are some of my characters, and some flowers, and yeah, but honestly, I think I'm okay with how I turned out, but all of my characters, like, none of them look like they're supposed to look like. I think Jen, and maybe Luke if you cover his eye, they kind of look close to how they're supposed to look, but what is up with his eye? Like, seriously, and her. I'm not trying to shit on me here, but I'm just not happy with this page. But you know what? This is page 300 and I made it not in 30 days, but in 30 something days. And you know what? I'm proud of myself. To me, I still feel kind of like a winner because I did learn something from this. My figures have improved a lot and I became much more interested in drawing in sketchbooks, because before this I didn't really draw in sketchbooks that much, and it took me 3 months at least to finish one of those really small sketchbooks. So yeah, and I put dye on here because that's how I felt when I finished this. And I actually put, that's why here's a little bit of metallic paint, because I put this way at first, dye, and I had to peel it off, and that's why this looks really like destroyed. Yeah, I felt a little bit frustrated and stupid after that. But as for the Sketchbook Slam Challenge, that's it. Thank you so much for watching and waiting, and I had such a blast doing this challenge. Even though I failed it, it's been so much fun, and I met a lot of really great and nice people over this challenge. You guys are so amazing and so supportive, and I loved watching your videos and hearing about your stories. So definitely feel free to comment if you're doing this challenge right now, or you have done it or plan to do it. I'd be super happy to know how you are doing or how you have been doing. And I'm not gonna ramble on too much because this video is already very long. Yeah, I see you later. Bye bye!